everyone, my name's Sarah Jane. I'm an emotional wellbeing coach, and I've been asked by Queensway just to put a little video together for Mental Health Awareness Week. We just had a quick chat around, it is Mental Health Awareness Week. At this time it's brilliant because everyone wants to share something, come up with ideas, trying to either raise awareness of mental health or give tips and suggestions about what we can do to improve our own mental health or to help other people. So I had a little think, and I wanted to think about something that takes minimal effort but will have a massive, knock-on effect. So do you know the one thing that we can all do? I'll tell you why it's helpful, but the one thing that probably seems overly simplistic is we all can smile. Smiling seems like something that, you don't even think about it. It's just a natural reaction to somebody, or it's just a natural way of communicating that we don't think about. At a time like this, smiling is important now more than ever. Because if you think about what smiling actually is, there's this thing called non-verbal communication. And it's basically just, if it's not the spoken words that we're saying, then it's non-verbal, isn't it? So actually, when we're communicating with each other, it's only around 7 to 10% of what we actually say that is being communicated or received by the other person. The rest of the communication and what we actually interpret and what we actually take on board is the non-verbal stuff. So for example, if you're having a nice little chat with someone, telling them a really interesting story, or what you think is really interesting, and they are sat typing on their phone or looking out the window, what does that tell you? You're going to infer from that they're not listening to you, not interested, and they might well be listening to you, but what you're picking up on is their behaviour, and that's all we can assume based on. We can't read each other's minds. We like to think we can, but we can't. So what we do is we observe people's behaviours and we interpret them based on what we think it means. So this is a lovely little game we all like to play. Quite often we're wrong, but what we can't help is once we've interpreted someone's behaviour to mean something, it triggers an emotional response. And you can't just turn that off, even if they say, "Oh, I was listening." You can't help that you feel irritated now that you thought they weren't listening. So why am I telling you this? Okay, at a time like this, our communication and connection with everyone else has been completely changed. It's more strained, it's very different. Think about social distancing. People are more isolated right now. There's a lot of people who have been in isolation for a long time. The fact that we're in lockdown means we haven't been in contact with a lot more people. And even when we are having that contact, it's, we're having to keep that 2 metre distance. So something what might seem meaningless, you're walking down the road where normally, if say you're a dog walker, walking down the road and that person who always walks the dog at the same time as you walk past them, normally you'd stop for maybe a little chat, have a bit of banter, and you go on with your day, and that often makes your day a little bit better. Right now we can't do that. We have to constantly be aware, be vigilant. So as soon as someone's coming our way, we think, "Oh God, I need to move." So then you automatically cross the road. Now what do you think that communicates? Even though we know it's to keep each other safe, what your brain perceives is something quite different sometimes, especially because we're in this underlying state of stress or worry. How we perceive it is more negative than we probably would have before. So just that moving out of the way to keep someone safe potentially could be received in a very different way. Or it might be that you were in your own little world, walking along with maybe your dog, or you're chatting to the person who you're walking with, and you don't realise someone's coming the other way. So then you get very close, and then they might make a comment about the fact that you didn't move out the way. Or you're in a shop and you accidentally lean over for something and get in someone's 2 metre zone. And all of these things are not necessarily intentional, it's just we're all trying to adjust to this distancing. And what happens is there's a lot of negative perceptions being put on this. So we're assuming that we're annoying people, we're assuming people think we're like dirty or bad or wrong because they're moving out of the way, even though realistically we know that's not why. So because of all of this, we can't control or change the fact that we need to distance to keep each other safe. But what we can do is when you have to do all of these weird things, just smile. We all know it's strange and it's uncomfortable and we'd love to be able to relate differently, but moving out of the way with a smile helps that person's brain to perceive it as a positive thing and not like a, "Oh, get away from me." So I'm not saying you have to stop and to explain to everyone why you're doing what you're doing. We can't do that. So to stop everyone going into that negative mind reading, the one thing we can do is whenever you do anything, just do it with a smile. I mean a genuine smile, not like a smirky smile. It has to be a real one. But even if it's just the interactions that you have with, maybe you go in a shop today and that person might be having the most stressful day in the world. Your smile, first of all, if it's genuine, it triggers a response in your brain because your brain links the act of a smile with positive emotional experiences. So as soon as you smile, that your happy hormones in your brain will be triggered and you will experience that happy state. And then smiles are infectious. We say that for a reason, because when you smile, as humans, we have this brilliant ability to be able to empathise and mirror each other's responses. So if I smile, the person I smile at often smiles back. And then what I've done is I've created that state in them. They also now feel a little bit happier and might make a slight little positive thing in their day. So you know what? To make a difference for Mental Health Awareness Week, you don't have to do a lot. All you've got to do is smile. That is one way that we can do something a little bit different to make this experience more positive, more feel more connected, and it doesn't take much. And it's not only benefiting them, it's going to benefit you. So whatever you do today or for the rest of the week, smile.